Hello there, Power Parents. Hey there. How you doing on this beautiful, beautiful day? Of course, it's beautiful here in Northern California. I don't know where you are, but please let me know in the comments. I'd love to check out where everyone's from and see where you're visiting from. I'm so thankful that you're here. Thank you so much. As a thanks, all I want to do is deliver as much value as possible and help you to really change the way you do business and be as productive as possible. So that's what this is all about. My name's Mary Catherine Johnson, if you don't know that already. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Today, we're going to discover the 3 tools that I used to make more time and money as a parent entrepreneur, and basically how you can do the same thing right now. Okay, let's get into this. First off, can everyone hear me okay? My microphone's coming through okay? Can everyone see the screen and access the chat? Just type yes, or let me know in the chat box, please. I would really love to make sure that everything's working well and we don't have any technical stuff going on. And then before we actually get into the meat of this, did you download the worksheet? There was a worksheet and you should be able to access it. You should have been able to access it on the thank you page when you signed up. And it should also be right below near the chat. So that you can actually download that and fill it in as we go along. But basically, who's this webinar for? All right. Well, obviously, you're a mom or a dad, and you need to generate revenue quickly in basically as simply as a process as possible without sacrificing time with your family. Does that sound like anything anyone's looking for? I hope. Yes, definitely. All right, Shannon, yes. Fantastic. Tiffany, yes. All right, Nigel, you bet. Love it. All right. So, is this you? You're a mom or a dad who's wishing you could balance a work-at-home business with stay-at-home parenting. You feel torn between your family and your business. And you really wish you had more time to do the things everybody says you should be doing. And not just that everybody says you should be doing them, do the things that really help make life beautiful and wonderful. You're exercising, you're eating right, you're getting enough sleep, you're doing the things that are most important to you. If that's you, then yahoo, you're in the right place. I hope so. All right. So now, who am I? Who is this person on the other side of the microphone? Well, basically, as you can see, in September last year, I implemented these 3 tools in my business, and it really helped boost my success. My goal at the time was to increase my email subscribers, okay, and find a mentoring client to help build their business, and figure out through those 2 things whether what I was saying really mattered and what I was saying was important to people and people could actually use it to make a difference in their lives like I had used it in mine. And within 2 weeks of actually implementing these things every single day, I had increased my email list by 150% and secured 1 mentoring client at $1,500 per month in 2 weeks. Since then, I've added 3 more mentoring clients, and I was just contacted by a 4th, and my email list is actually increased by another 177%. Are these people? We are parent entrepreneurs, so we are not, at least I'm not, the person who's making $500,000 a month or even $100,000 a month. My kids, my family is my most important, and I'm building my business around them. So I am not expecting $500,000 a month to start with. That's why a $1,500 per month mentoring client was awesome for me. So is that what you're looking for? Are you looking for these kinds of results that are realistic right now and you can implement them? If there's a yes to that question, let me know. Type it in. There goes Nigel again. Yes. All right. Charlene. Yes, Charlene. Yes. All right, fantastic. I'm so happy that you agree. All right, so basically today's chat, I am going to promise you that I'm going to cover these 3 things, and if you implement them, you will see results. All right, number 1, Parkinson's Law. Number 2, the Pomodoro Technique. And number 3, Power Your Day. And you notice that Power Your Day, there are each letter in that word stands for something, and we're going to go through that. All right, let's get this show on the road here. Parkinson's Law. All right. Now, John Lee Dumas of Entrepreneur on Fire introduced me to this concept when he was a guest on my podcast. If you want to listen to that podcast episode, you can go to parententrepreneurssuccess.com/PEP031, and you can hear the whole thing. But he just had some amazing brilliance, and this particular law made a huge difference for me. It basically cured my procrastination, okay? Because it really made me think about some things. It stops any task from taking 2 or 3 times the effort that it should take. So what is it? Well, the definition of Parkinson's Law is work expands to fill the time available for its completion. All right, so let's put that into simpler terms. Your task, your job, your specific work you're doing right now, whatever it is, will expand to the time you give yourself to complete it. So let's see, how can we put this into action and get some examples? First off, be realistic with the time you allot for a task, okay? Be realistic for the time you set aside to do a task. So for me, I set aside only 30 minutes each morning to check and batch my social media. Then I get off. And that's all social media. So I only give myself 30 minutes, and it's in my schedule. So another one, I schedule 30 minutes 3 times a day to check email. Then I get off. Sometimes I get off way earlier than 30 minutes, okay, because that's 3 times a day. So sometimes there hasn't been much activity in, the middle of the day. So I don't have to spend 30 minutes. There's some other time I can do something else. But really, typically, how long do you usually spend on social media or checking email? Better yet, do you still have immediate notifications on your phone or tablet or computer? Do you still have notifications on? Facebook loves that because then you're drawn right back into Facebook. If you turn notifications on your phone, they're very happy because then you go right back into Facebook. I'm telling you right now, Power Parents, turn them off. Turn off your notifications unless your business is teaching other people about social media. Okay, you might be that way. That may be the case. But most of our businesses are not actually centered around social media. Social media is our means of communicating with our audience. So turn it off. I guarantee you no one will die if you don't respond immediately to their Facebook post or their tweet or their email. They will not die. So this is my first requirement of every mentoring client I take on, and they thank me within the first couple of days or at least a week after they get over the withdrawal symptoms. But no, seriously, this brings back your sanity because you are not, think about it, every time one of those notifications comes up, you are responding to what someone else thinks is important. And does someone else, is that Facebook post and someone else's idea of what's important, is your business what's important to them? Of course not. Is the furthering of your revenue stream, your business, your clientele, your customers, is that their number one priority when they post that Facebook post? Of course not. But that's your number one priority for your business. So make it that way and turn the notifications off. Believe me, you'll thank me. All right. Number 2, Pomodoro. I always think of pomegranates when I see that word. I don't know. All right. So Pomodoro Technique. This one actually was mentioned to me and taught to me by Jamie Tardy of Eventual Millionaire. she turned me on to this one. And believe me, I have not let go of it yet. All right. So this is an actual productivity technique that's much more involved than I'm going to get into here. And you can definitely check it out on your own. Just do a search for Pomodoro Technique and you'll get all the information you want. But it's a productivity technique published by a man named Francesco Cirillo. And it has, like I said, a lot more options to it, but I'm going to take this one part of it. I don't use the entire technique. I just focus on the time with no distractions and actually doing tasks in a specific amount of time. So this builds on Parkinson's Law. So the first thing you're going to do is get a timer for your desktop or use a kitchen timer, whatever you want to do. I use the Pomodoro timer. It's free. It's a free app for my Mac. And I set that when I'm going to sit down to a task. Here again, turn off all notifications and make your area distraction free. So if you're going to sit and write a blog post or do something like that, this is perfect. You set your timer for 25 minutes and go at it. Get your work done. Focus. Do it. Don't stop in the middle and go, oh, gosh, I'm hungry. Or, maybe I should check Facebook. That's right. Someone was supposed to do this or do that. Or gosh, maybe that's right. The dryer just went off. So I better go fold that load of clothes so they don't wrinkle. Okay, none of that. The dryer can wait. Most of us have on our dryers, we have a wrinkle guard kind of thing. So don't worry about it. Your clothes will be fine. And turn that notification off too. But seriously, 25 minutes focus. Then take a 5-minute break. And I'm talking 5-minute break. This 5-minute break is not checking Facebook. This 5-minute break is getting up and walking around. Because really, for your health, you need to walk around. You need to get up instead of sitting all day. So take a 5-minute break, get up, walk around, go get a drink of water, go to the bathroom, pet the cat, whatever you want to do. 5 minutes, you're away from your computer. And repeat this cycle, 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off, until you're done. Even if you're in the middle of a blog post, stop. Unless you're in the middle of a really cool thought. I get that. I can't do that. But then when you're done with that sentence, stop. Get up and take your 5-minute break and then come back. And you'll be amazed at how long it takes you to finish things, how long it actually takes you to do a task. For instance, my podcast episodes, they typically would take me 3 to 4 of these Pomodoros, and that's what they're called, each 25-minute block. They would take me 3 to 4 Pomodoros to edit, to tag and publish and upload and all that stuff. And of course, that's why I'm having help now to do that, because there's almost 2 hours of my time that can be used toward furthering my business, because I'm now up to 69 podcast episodes. So that's a lot of time. Take 70. Okay. 70 is coming up in a couple of days. 70 times 2 hours. That's 100. Whoa. Yeah. That's 140 hours of my time just editing the podcast. That's not recording it and, sharing it through social media or email or anything like that. That's just editing and publishing. 140 hours. So yeah, my time could easily be spent in other places to make more money. Because if I'm going to be away from my kids, that's what I want to do. All right, number 3, power your day. This, my friends, is my favorite. How to really start your day. Now, how you start your day determines how your day will progress. And what I do in the morning is a power start to my day. The P stands for peace. And that can be anything you determine as peace. It could be prayer, it could be silence, it could be meditation, whatever it is. But it's really a time to start your morning instead of jumping out of the bed because the alarm went off. And when your feet hit the floor, you start running and you start your day. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the opposite of that. I'm talking about now I don't set my alarm anymore. I actually wake up before my alarm. I do set it. I'm sorry. I do set it because I do have to get breakfast for kids and blah, blah, blah. But I almost never actually wake up by the alarm. I wake up before the alarm goes off. I turn it off and I come out into my beautiful chair, my favorite chair, and I sit down with my headphones and I do what's called headspace. And it's 10 minutes of focused, calm your mind. It's amazing. I love it. You can get the Headspace app. The first 10 sessions are free. It's a free app. You can just keep doing the 10 sessions over and over again if you want. But Headspace, it's awesome. The O is openness. And basically what I do here is more like a visualization, because the majority of the things we do, or that we actually don't do, the things we want to do, but we kind of don't get started on or stop in the middle of, or things like that. It's because most of the time it's because when we start the task, we either don't know where to go, or it takes too long to figure out where to go, or as we get into the middle of it, we don't know where to go next. So with my openness, is what I call it, I sit and visualize the steps I need to take. So this webinar, for instance, I had to do some research on how webinars work. I had to think about what kind of slides I would do, all those kinds of things. So if you visualize the steps you need to take, you are more likely to get there, to actually take those steps. So that's my openness. W is who, what, and why. Okay? Who needs my time, my attention, my love, my care, my patience today? And that's usually my kids, of course. But it could also be a client or a mentoring client. What are the top 3 money-making activities I must complete today, so that when I go to bed tonight, I feel like I was a success and I actually moved my business forward? So I write these things down. Power parents, I write them down. Who needs me today? What are those top 3 actions? And why in the world am I doing this? Why am I spending my time sitting in front of my computer? Because if I don't have that clearly defined, I won't get anywhere. So who, what, and why. The E is for exercise every single day, even if it's just a walk, even if it's just some sit-ups and push-ups, or, some Payo is the big one now, Pilates yoga mix, or just some yoga, some movement you need to move every day. And R is for reading. So I usually take that time and catch up on some of my blog posts that I want to listen, or that I want to read, or even some of the fictional books. When I get on a book, I really don't want to put it down. So it's kind of hard for me to do that. So that's power. All right. Now, how does this work, and why am I talking about this? This is one of my mentoring clients, Shannon O'Brien. She has been an amazing success. She had an idea back in January of 2014, and she started working with me in June of 2014. I can't believe that's coming up a year. But she didn't even know if her idea was possible. She didn't know where to start. She wanted to quit. Believe me, she wanted to quit after the first obstacle. She was kind of afraid that it wasn't going to work, all those kinds of things. But she is a single mom of 2 young boys, and she has a full-time esthetician practice. So she works full-time, and she was creating this iSugar University on the side, and as a single mom. Yeah, she now has, the university is live, it's going strong, and she's got amazing students that are now attributing their success to her. I can't even tell you how proud I am to be a part of that. That's what it's all about. So here we go. Let's recap the 3 strategies. Parkinsons Law. Remember, the task is going to take as long as you set aside to do it. So if you're going to just say, oh, I'm going to check email and I think I'm going to get this done or that done, and you don't set a time parameter to it, then checking email could take 2 hours by the time you look up. And that especially happens with social media, right? You get on Facebook and, look at this cute video that so-and-so sent me. So you look up at the clock and there's 2 hours that have gone by. No, we can't do that in our business and be successful. So Parkinson's Law, time, the tasks will expand to however long you give them. Pomodoro Technique, there you go. Set that timer, 25 minutes, and you can determine how many Pomodoros it will take to complete a task. And then when you're done, you're done. And power your day. Please start your day calm rather than running. And it makes a huge difference. So those are the 3 things I did that gave me those email, subscriber, and revenue results within 2 weeks of just committing to doing this and doing them every day. Now, I have a bonus for you. And there should be a button. You see the little button on the bottom, the yellow button, that you can download this. This is my Power Master Schedule. And so all these three things culminate into the schedule. Remember, I mentioned that I write down on my schedule when I do things. Here is my schedule, an example of what my schedule looks like. And I put everything on this puppy, let me tell you. And so I've given you a copy of what I use. And then also you have a template for you to create your own. It's amazing what a difference this makes. Once I put all those three things into action and into the schedule, boom, there's nothing else I can do but be productive. And productivity means money. Now, is it okay if I take this one step further and show you a way that I've developed that can help this move even faster? I hope so. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Is that okay? Can I chat about this? Oh, there's a Shannon again. There's another Shannon. It's not my Shannon, but hello there. Yes, thank you. I'm so glad. I hope you're my Shannon. And Geeta, thank you. Yes, I would love to. I would really love to. All right. Now, I have a free course, and it's called PowerUp. And I've developed it to fit into the lifestyle of us parents. Okay. We don't have huge blocks of time. The majority of the time when I was working on my business, when my kids were younger, I would, 15 minutes at a time that I would have in between interruptions. So I was lucky if I had that. So we go through all these things, and I'm going to show you what that is right now. I'm going to take you inside the PowerUp course, all right? We talk about what's your vision, how to schedule it. We go into much more in-depth in the Power Morning. What is your business idea and validating it? What is your business name and validating that? Who's your community? Where's your community? Who's your avatar? I call her my muffin, so I'd go into what that means to me. No, it's funny, but still. How do you set up a domain and a website and themes and plugins? And are you going to blog, or are you going to podcast? Or are you going to do videos? How do you build that audience? And we give you some specific power tools to get that done pretty quickly. But let me just take you behind the scenes. All right, here we go. Oh, look at the cutie pie. All right, here is the Power Parents Academy. And this is the PowerUp course. And here is everything we talk about. And of course, everything you do here in 10-minute increments with videos, all while you spend your love and your time raising your kids, which is what we're here for. Here are the units and lessons. So lifestyle design. If you don't know where you're going, you can't get there. So one of the things we talk about in lifestyle design is designing exactly what it is you want out of this whole business thing. What does that look like? Or at least what do you think it looks like? So if you've never built a business before, you don't exactly know what it's going to take and how it's going to look. So I try and take you through step by step how to do that. What you do, how it looks, what kind of tools should you use, all of that. So that's lifestyle design. Of course, creating the time you need, all right? I just mentioned you can download, that's what this Power Schedule looks like. You can download mine, and I go through step by step how to customize it. What does it look like when you make it work for you? And then I go into the real details on how to power your day. What does that look like? How does it work? How much time should you take? I get up at about 5 a.m. now, and sometimes 4:45. I can't go earlier than that. I just can't. But, 5 a.m. because I have to get my son his breakfast and lunch and get him out the door by about 6:20. So if I'm up at 5 doing my own thing, I start my day taking care of myself. And just like in the airplane, when you get on and the stewardess tells you if the oxygen mask comes down, put it on yourself first, then help someone with you. The reason they say that is because I can't help someone if I can't breathe. So it's the same situation here. I can't help others if I don't take care of myself, right? All right. So that's what we talk about. Here's the create your business part. Here's the establishing your online home and building up your audience. That is what we talk about. And I have a blueprint that takes you step by step through this process as well that you download. And folks, this is all free. Power Parents, this is free for you to do and take right now so that you can go step by step at your own pace and get it done. Sound like a plan? Who needs this? Yeah, Nigel, definitely. All right. Yes, I hope so. I hope so, because I put a lot of love into that and a lot of experience from building 3 businesses with it. Now, if you want to go a step further, we have the PowerBoost on top of that. So it includes that free course, the self-paced PowerUp course. Then we add some of the really sometimes difficult parts that we entrepreneurs face. So the first one is legal and small business advice. And I've tapped into one of my buddies, Nellie Akalp. I've interviewed her on the podcast. And we've kept in touch and communicated and built a relationship. Her company is CorpNet. And she goes through step by step how to set up the business side of it. She also gives us some free guides, specific guides to setting up the business. Do you have questions about an LLC or sole proprietorship or S Corp or all those things? She can answer them. Let me tell you. So we have a module that talks specifically about that with Nellie herself. How do you get your product to market? This is vital. My first business was a product-based business, and there are so many steps to getting your product to market. So we tackle that as well. How do you develop your dream? By tapping into your strengths. And Scott Barlow of Happen to Your Career really is a master at that. I was so amazed when we went through this training, and it's available to you right now because we've already done it. So it's amazing how the steps he takes match exactly with what we're doing here with the PowerUp and the PowerBoost. And it may be because Scott has also been on the podcast because he's also a parent, so he gets it. Social media, obviously we tackle that one as well. And being a media magnet. So how do you get interviews? How do you get podcast interviews? How do you get possible television appearances? How do you do that? How do you become a media magnet and get the media to come to you and want you? Well, that's what we cover in the PowerBoost. And this, just to give you an idea, is a sample of CorpNet's guide, one of CorpNet's guides that Nellie presents, Forming an LLC. This is what we cover. The next one is Scott Barlow. And this is still Nellie. Sorry about that. This is talking about the differences between sole proprietors, general partnerships, all of those. And she goes into details of how they relate. Yeah. That's the PowerBoost. It includes all the things we've talked about, and the value based on if you went individually and bought these things from these individuals would be $1,172. But in the PowerBoost program, it's only $497, and we also have a payment plan if you need. And you have all of that, unlimited access to it at your own pace. If I had that when I was first starting my business, I tried to go to the Small Business Administration and take free classes. And oh my goodness, that was interesting. All right. And then the third tier. So we did PowerUp. Now we have PowerBoost. And the third tier is Power Premier. And it includes obviously both of those, PowerUp and PowerBoost, but it adds a component of individual attention. We have a 9-week intensive mastermind where we meet with our Power Premier members each week via live webinar. And we include these people I just mentioned in those webinars. And they're private live webinars so that you get access to those people and to myself to ask them questions. So you've taken the information, you've learned it. Now you get to go to the source and say, well, what about this? And what about that? And my business needs this, and customize it. That's what we do in the 9-week intensive mastermind. We have a private Facebook group, and you get to network with these individuals like Nellie and Scott and each other. I learned more in some of these other masterminds that I've been involved in from the members of the group. And some of them, like Scott, I was in a mastermind with him. Some of them have stayed with me, and we've formed partnerships and built both of our businesses and boosted both of our businesses with each other. And we became affiliates with each other. We have done talks together. It really is priceless, the networking that you do. It's relationships. Power Parents, relationships are what it's all about. Most importantly, personal, intense, focus, action, and results. That's what it's all about. So there's Nellie. You get to actually talk with her in the live webinar. There's CorpNet and what she has to offer. And there's Scott. And you get to talk with him and all of the places he's been and contributed to. The PowerUp program is the PowerUp, PowerBoost, and everything I've talked about. And that value is $2,066. And we have it available for you at $697. Now, what really is this worth? What is your time worth is kind of the idea. If you're like most parents and most parent entrepreneurs, you do it all yourself. And it might take a year or more to see really measurable results, but we can help you with that immediately. That's what we're here to do, especially with the private coaching and mastermind. If you got a private coaching and mastermind itself, it'd be anywhere from $100 to $500 an hour. And we help you with that in our mastermind group. These are the two options that are paid. Remember, you always have access to the PowerUp, which is absolutely free. If you're just in the beginning stages, or even if you've already built your business and you want to get a refresher and make sure you're on the right track, go to the PowerUp and do it. The question is, will you do it? Please do. If you will, be my guest. That's what it's there for. If you want to go the next step, we have the PowerBoost, Power Premier for $497 or $697. We start next Monday. Are you with us? I hope so. I so hope so. If you're with us, just click the yellow Order Now button and you can get right into whichever one seems to fit you, and we'll just hit the ground running. Now, there's a place to hit the ground running. Your business, not your life. Believe me, you want to do that and start that with a mindset, a clear, focused mindset. And that will get you success more than anything else. Believe me. All right. So any questions that I can answer for you? I know our time is limited to only the 30 minutes. So what questions can I answer for you? Anything specific that you might have? Perfect. All right. Yes, there's Nigel again. Nigel. All right. How long does the PowerBoost take? Okay. So the PowerBoost or any of these programs, except the 9-week mastermind, is self-paced. So you take these courses and you are in the Power Parents Academy in the back end that I just showed you. So let me go back in there and I'll show you what I mean. So you go into that back end and you can take these courses at your pace. Now with this particular one, the PowerUp, to start with, there is a sequence of events. So when you sign up and you'll start with lifestyle design, and you can't jump from lifestyle design all the way down here to establishing your online home, because you can't build your community if you don't have a place for them to go. So whether it's setting up your social media page, your business page, or whatever that might be, but you need to figure out who you're going to be speaking to and where they hang out. You need to figure out all those things before you can jump right down here. So that's why we start here. And this is the only one that's actually dripped to you. And that means you start here, then like a day or two later, you go to the next one, and then a day or two later, et cetera, et cetera. Does that answer your question, Nigel? It basically is, you get it based on the time that you start. So that's how this one works. Right now, I'm showing you my access to it, which is all inclusive. Obviously, I can access the whole thing. But when you get it, these will be gray, and you'll start here. So time-wise, to be honest, it depends on how long you need to take. And this is made in mind, again, for parents. So I don't expect you to get it all done in one night or even in one day, unless you've got a day without kids and you can really just focus on this, then you can get it done in a day. But I wouldn't suggest that, because you really do want to absorb and do some of the exercises and activities I give you, so that, then you can really make sure that you are as effective as possible with the information that you're getting. So I hope that answered your question, Nigel. Anything else? All right, perfect. Oh, okay, Linda. All right. How long have I been in business? Oh, okay. That's an easy one. I started my first business in 2003, and that was Mommy Loves. And mommyloves.com still exists. It's still producing amazing products, if I do say so myself. I have a very close affinity with the products that I made in Mommy Loves. And now, instead of me making every single shirt, Mommy Loves is a maternity design firm. So I made maternity shirts. I made custom novelty maternity shirts. So the belly of the shirt might say, "Don't touch, it kicks." Okay. So I made every single one of those shirts when I first started. Now I have someone else making them for me, and I just get to do the design and fly a little higher instead of being down into the day-to-day of making shirts. So that feels really good. But yeah, 2003 when I started, and then I wrote a book. It's called Say Bump and Take a Left, and it's still up on Amazon. And that then once I did that, I dabbled in self-publishing, and I helped a couple of people bring books to market and make them a success. But that just did not resonate with me. That's not what I wanted to do. I really had more of a calling to help parents do what I've done, which is raise both my sons while I've been building businesses. And when I say raise my sons, I don't send my sons to daycare. I'm not putting daycare down. Everyone has their own choices and their own situations. But for me, I wanted to raise my own kids, and I wanted to build the business around that. And I started Mommy Loves when my kids were 18 months old and 3.5, almost 4 years old. So they were really young. I had to figure out ways to do it. I had to figure out ways to be with them, but yet get things done too. And you really can't do both at the same time. I'll be upfront with you right now. Very rarely did I work when they were awake. I mean, work in the sense of be productive, like we're talking about now with Pomodoro and Parkinsons and all that stuff. Very rarely did I do that. But I worked when they went to bed or when they took a nap. Most of the time was when I got my really focused work done. But the little things I could do, and I had little techniques. I had a little kids table in my office, and they would quote work and have educational, and at this time we didn't have iPads. So I actually had my old computer set up so that they would play Thomas the Tank Engine, or they would go through the Winnie the Pooh book. There was a video game that was Winnie the Pooh, and it took them through the whole book, and they clicked on different things. It was so cool. And they remember those things. And we used to sit together and do that. And then sometimes when I needed to get some work done on my computer, I had them sit and do their computer. So there were a lot of different things that I instituted to be with them and have some focused chunks of time, but they were still my number one priority. So I was still available. I was still there. And then I was able to take them to kindergarten and pick them up and hear about their day and volunteer in their class and still build and run a business. If that's what you want to do, then I so hope that I can help you do it, because that is my mission, to help parents build businesses while they raise their kids. All right. I don't want to keep you guys anymore. We've had enough time. I hope if you have any questions, just email me. You can email me directly, mary@parententrepreneur.power.com. But in the meantime, Power Parents, thank you so much for joining me. And I so hope you enjoy the journey. Have a fantastic day.